What's up, guys? Name 1, 2, and 2, and it's top whenever I post this. Yeah, Monday when I was gonna film this, I was having a bit of some stomach problems, which anyone in my live stream would know that. So I had to film on a Tuesday, and if I film on a Tuesday when the video is supposed to come out, then I don't have enough time to also edit and things. So it's a Wednesday video, probably. Also, the car's back in the shop for like the 80th time this summer, so like, train schedules, stuff. I'm so tired. And if you're not watching this the day this came out and you're watching it some other time, then none of this means anything to you, so without further ado, let's just get into it. Let's just jump into it. What's up, you beautiful bastards? I need my Philip DeFranco shirt on if I'm gonna do a Philly D impression. Today's actually an interesting video. It's one I've been meaning to update for a while because I did a really small version of this list, you know, a couple months back, but it's a subject to change. And that is the top 10 this time, cards that can be taken off the ban list for surezies. Tune in next week for top 10 controversial unbans. I'm going to expand on that video as well, because, you know, new ban lists are going to come out soon. We just had Worlds, so, you know, this is the kind of stuff you want to make right now for that AdSense. You guys are going to have to deal with the fact that I am completely and utterly exhausted. Don't at me. But let's just start the countdown. Let's go. Davinator 1, 2, and 2, watch Pojo. Enjoy our lists? Be sure to click that subscribe button and join our Patreon. That last part's not even a joke. I need food. Yata-Garasu. I'm starting off strong on this video. You could probably find himself in the video next week too if I didn't want to, you know, completely rule out any possibilities of people overlapping, because it honestly doesn't make any sense given the different themes of the videos. But before you get your pitchforks out and say, wow, Dave is an idiot, this is why I believe the granddad of the Forbidden Limited list can come off said Forbidden Limited list. I think the order of this video is going to just be like, you know, these all definitely could come off, but least likely to most likely I think is going to be, so Yata-Garasu is definitely a hard 10 for this list. Yata-Garasu is a wind level 2 fiend spirit monster that has the following effect. As well as having the standard bounce back to your hand at the end of the turn effect, it also has an ability that when it does battle damage to your opponent's life points, they skip their next draw phase. Why was this put on the ban list? Well, because back in the days you could mix them with your Chaos Emperor Dragon, get rid of every little thing your opponent controls, summon this thing, poke them with it, so that means next turn they control no cards, poke them with it again, next turn after that, they still control no cards, and then you start to realize that, oh, I can never draw and I don't have anything in my hand or field, so I just technically auto-lose, unless I'm gonna make you sit here and keep poking me with this stupid bird. However, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, I think that's really slow. If Lithium's cross-banless cup has taught us anything, Yata-Lock, even at what it's like full power meta build of the time, it only ever gets like maybe 2 rounds in before it gets so like, it's way out of date, it's way too slow. The only deck that could even remotely make any kind of use of the card would probably be Trickstars, because you could do this, Droll Lock, and that reincarnation thing, Trickstar Reincarnation, the trap card. So you get rid of your opponent's hand, then you poke them with this thing, and then whoop-de-freaking-do, they probably have like 1 card at that point. So you could do it, but like that's a 3-card combo where 2 of them are unsearchable. You know what I mean? Like, it's never gonna happen. Number 9 is Super Rejuvenation. This quick play spell says during the end phase of the turn that you discarded or tributed dragon monsters, draw as many cards as those were tributed. I worded that completely bad. If I discarded 3 dragons and tributed 4, I get to draw 9 cards. Wait, what did I say? Fine, if I discarded 1 and tributed 1, I draw 2. Because I don't remember what numbers I was just saying. My brain is applesauce. Why was this card put on the ban list? Well, because mostly due to dragon rulers would tribute and discard a boatload, mostly discard. And then during the end phase, you just draw a bunch, and then because it was a quick play, and if you drew into another copy of Super Rejuvenation, you could play that again, because it wasn't a hard once per turn, and you could draw more cards. Obviously, if you had too many in your hand is what would let you allow to end your turn, you have to discard more as well, but hey, you know, they were dragon rulers, so just ditching all the monsters you drew into the graveyard was like not a problem. So the card was understandably broken in that deck. However, all the dragon rulers are banned. They can't really do anything without the big dragon rulers because the baby dragon rulers only exist to make the big ones. So this card really doesn't have a home anymore. It could probably come off to 1 to be completely safe, but I bet you could put it to 3 and it wouldn't be a problem. But let's start with 1 first. You know, there's a couple of decks that could do something with it and have some fun with the card and be kind of a sacky blow up, but I really don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. During the end phase to get all your advantage is pretty slow in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! This thing might as well be a trap card in that instance. So, Double Iris Magician is number 8. Aha, Ryan would be happy for this. We don't have Double Iris Magician, we don't have Astrograph Sorcerer, so I guess, you know, the Pendulum Magicians lost all their fun stuff, so give them back Double Iris. This would allow them to search Trap Graph and Spell Graph, making the deck back to its heyday without having the wombo combo-ness of Astrograph, which is a little abusive. So I think this is only a fair removal from the ban list, more than it can definitely come off. It's just, you know, we gotta be careful because pendulums are good and easily broken because of the inherent flaws of the mechanic, but again, I'm pretty sure this can come off to at least 1, and I think everything will be fine. Shurit, Strategist of the Nekroz. Yeah, you know, I think it's high time we got Shurit back because Nekroz are getting trickles and trickles of the support with the that Devi ritual, the enchantments, is that what they're called now? I don't know. As well as we got pre-prep back to 3. So we're really close. But with other hits to the archetype with Unicorn and Brionac, man. Dave, Yu-Gi-Oh! The deck is still horridly crippled, but at least being able to use Shurit's effect once would be really nice. What does he do? Well, if you would tribute him for a ritual summon for a Nekroz monster, he can count as the entire tribute, so he prevents you from losing tons of hand advantage or just like banishing all the guys out of your grave with your Nekroz ritual spells to make the bigger guys. It also allows you to make things like Decisive Armor a little easier and things like that. So just in general, Shurit was just really nice for the deck because the really big ritual monsters, they blow a lot of advantage to make. So it's nice being able to pay for it all in one go. But not only did he just count as the entire tribute cost, if he was tributed by a card effect, so you can't tribute him for cost. Did you know that rituals aren't tributing for cost, they're tributing by effect? Yeah, it's, you know, it's good Yu-Gi-Oh! To know. You can add a Warrior Nekroz ritual monster from your deck to your hand, meaning he kind of replaces himself when he is used, which also lets you grab Trish, or Brio, or Colossalis, or applesauce. You know what I mean. Basically, just maintaining advantage in a deck that is a ritual deck, so therefore it bleeds advantage. So he's necessary for the deck to function the way it was intended. So give us back our little blue dude. Ooh, number 6 is Kaiser Colosseum. Yeah, Kaiser Colosseum, when it first got banned, people were like, why the hell was this even banned? Everyone's like, I don't know. There's that dumb Destiny Hero combo that kind of locks your opponent out of doing anything, but Destiny Heroes aren't very good, so who cares? But yeah, I think it was that. Everyone always says, oh, it was Boojins that got this banned. No, it wasn't. Did you realize that when Boojins were good, they weren't even good? And this thing got banned way after their heyday. It has nothing to do with Boojins. Stop saying it. No, it was probably due to the Destiny Hero combo, and then later it probably continued to stay on the ban list because of Masterpiece. Because, you know, True Draco would love Kaiser Colosseum. That would make that deck really, really broke with Masterpiece. Because it's even a continuous spell, so if you didn't need it, it's there for tribute. So, cool. But now that Masterpiece is banned, I really do think we could probably bring Kaiser Colosseum back, and then we can let the True Draco scrubs play their deck as a wombo combo control style thing. That would be kind of cute. So let them do it. It's not searchable anyway. Who cares? And yes, I know it's probably still in the ban list longer than it ever should have been because it is kind of a ruling nightmare because of it. Like, you know, kaijus and stuff. It's like as soon as you do something, everyone's like, but Judge, does that even work? So I understand why the card's probably on the ban list at this point for posterity's sake. But if you just maybe errata it just to clean up the text or something, it's probably been errata like a million times. But just clean the text up a little bit, you know, problem proof it. We can have it back at 3. No one would care. I'd really like her to be higher on the list because I really want this card to come back, but there is one sticking point I feel I should mention.
Shaddoll Construct.
Shaddoll Construct is the big mamma jamma of the Shaddoll deck, and pretty much the only reason why the deck doesn't see any kind of play as an engine in anything is because she is the one thing you really want to be making in the deck, because Winda, her little sister, isn't necessarily as oppressive as she once used to be. What does Shaddoll Construct do? When it's special summoned, you send one Shaddoll monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is incredibly important because they all have floaty graveyard effects. So when she hits the field, she mills one out of your deck of your choice. That's really good. And then she does have that cool, at the start of a damage step thing, she can auto kill stuff she attacks into as long as that monster was special summoned. So she's kind of like a big, what do you call it? Eater of millions. So, you know, that's a really useful effect. But frankly, actually more Eater of Millions is a small Shaddoll Construct because she came first, but you know what I'm talking about. But that's really kind of, you know, that effect is really nice, but it's the mill on summon that really makes the deck move. It gets the engine going, and then it's a big monster. So she's just super useful for the deck, so you probably should bring her back. But the sticking point, the sticking point, she's a light. She's a light. And when one would use Shaddoll Fusion to mill the material out of their deck, if their opponent controls an extra deck monster, you're probably milling Fairy Tale Snow, and that's really, really good. Is it bannable? I don't think so. I think she can come off the list almost definitely. And I don't think Fairy Tale Snow is keeping her on there any more than anything else is, but that is a good wombo combo, and if somebody at Konami was afraid of it, I would understand. Wind-Up Carrier Zenmaity is the other extra deck monster we have on the list, and he most definitely can come off, because you can see how it's getting easier and easier to justify why these come off. Yeah, because he shouldn't even be on there in the begin with. When your wind-ups were at full power, you needed a couple of copies of this in order to do the wind-up hand loop. So putting this simply to 1 stops that mostly. So like, why is this banned at all? And most certainly, since we just in like the last 2 sets got the wind-up link monster, it would be really cool to get Zenmaity back to 1, because so they can use their link monster. Because why would you release support for a deck and the deck can't even use it because it's missing a key playmaker and engine card for the entire deck? Plus, how cool would it be if we had a decent link spam variant of wind-ups in the modern Yu-Gi-Oh era? That would be so cool, because they could totally do it. They could totally do it. They could be a decent link spam deck. Just give them back to Zenmaity because they need them in order to do that crap. Take the Hunter away if you really have to, if you're worried about the loops. But I think as is, he can just go to 1 and we'd be fine. Cyber-Stein! Yeah, Cyber-Stein can definitely come off. And, you know, people were arguing, oh, but he can make the last warrior from another planet or some other dumb hooey. Despite the fact that those people are completely ignoring the fact that I think he's at 3 in the OCG and no one gives a rat's ass. But with the new end-of-match procedures, paying 5K and it being like the gimmick in your deck, like my deck turbos out Cyber-Stein, pays the 5K and punches with Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon with Mega Morph stuck on it. If that's what you're really trying to do, then good luck, buddy. That better work every single time, because later games like game 2 and 3, you are going into time and you are losing because you paid more than half of your life points for a big dumb beater. The card is absurdly dumb nowadays, and let's say just put it to 3 and maybe you can do some cheesy crap with it for like a game 1 wombo combo in certain decks, and then game 2 you side it out for something else. That's good, you know, meta play, so let's just let players do that. Plus, you know, if you pull that mystery power box one, you can use it then. Has anyone done that yet? Like, I know the Simu did the fake one, but I wonder if anyone actually pulled it, just like didn't say anything, you know? Number 2 is Time Seal. I've talked about this stupid card at length. This card is bad. Back in the day, you'd flip this stupid trap up and your opponent would skip their draw phase, their next draw phase. Kind of like your Yata-Garasu, but as a chainable trap card. And then you do something gimmicky and dumb with Mask of Darkness and Tsukiyomi to keep you reusing the card. And if you had a couple of copies, you could keep just like kind of switch hitting them with them and your opponent would never have a draw phase. However, if anybody has played Yu-Gi-Oh! Since 2010, they would tell you that, holy crap, that would never work ever again. That is so slow and bad and what? And if you're really worried about that kind of dumb loop shenanigans, which will never happen, put it at 1. No one will play it. Literally, nobody would play. Play it at 3. Even if the loop was completely doable in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! With newer cards, I'm pretty sure still nobody's going to a regional with Time Seal Loop Turbo. Because as soon as it doesn't work, a deck that's completely built around a gimmick like that loses. You guys know that, right? Like when you build a deck around a stupid gimmicky wombo combo, most of the time so much is devoted in that deck to the wombo combo that if the wombo combo doesn't wombo, then you just wombon't and you lost. Which is why the Pendulum Magician FTK was so good, because if the FTK didn't work, you were at least still playing Pendulum Magician. So that's why that was dangerous. But these other dumb wombo combo decks, they're bad because as soon as they fail, the entire point of the deck is flubbed. You have to scoop. And that's why Time Seal can come back. And this video is not going to have any honorable mentions, mostly because any honorable mentions would be like, oh, well, I thought this could come off, but I'm not really sure. Well, those would all immediately get stuck on next week's list, so I literally can't have any honorable mentions. Well, there's one card I could put on here, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let that one fester in your brain. Yeah, because number 1 ain't what you think. It's Tribe-Infecting Virus. Ooh, Tribe-Infecting Virus! Take that, hero player! Ooh. Yeah, this thing can absolutely come off the ban list. I have no idea why it's not. It's not even good. Sure, he's not once per turn, and you know, you can just discard a card and his ignition effect and call an attribute and nuke the board for all those attributes and just keep discarding until you've hit all of your opponent's monsters, unless they're playing like a Una attribute deck and you can get them all in one go. That's not good, you know that, right? Like a walking lightning vortex isn't good. Lightning vortex isn't good. So why the hell would you ever play this card over like Regeki or Dark Hole, which we both have in the game? Sure, it's a water monster, so you could discard Atlanteans or some Hui. Wait, are those by effect? Yeah, I don't know. I don't play Mermails, but you could probably play this thing in Mermails, to my understanding. You could play it in Mermails as a cheesy tech. I still don't think it works quite right. I mean, it's an Aqua, so you could like play it in frogs, I guess. Kind of trivia with Toad. Ugh. I don't know. The card's just really lackluster, which is actually kind of annoying because it means we end the list on the most unimpressive card, because that's just how the order would be. So if my number 1 wasn't the number 1 you wanted, just pretend like it was. Anyway guys, that was my list. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a little more freeform than I normally do, simply because 4 o'clock a.m. wake up times stink. So anyway guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and give me your predictions of what's going to be on next week's list. It's another top 10. It's going to be the top 10 cards that probably could come off the ban list. There might be some pretty sharp sticking points, but they could probably come off. These are the ones that definitely could, but those next ones are a little iffy. Give me the iffy. And if they're really off the wall bonker suggestions, you need to give me a why. I want a why. So anyway guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Remember guys, if you don't know the meta who will, I will see you guys probably next week. Yeah.
You are now under the control of my Millennium Rod. You will subscribe to the channel or watch the latest vid, and if not, you could watch whatever the this is.